Well, I took a look at the landscape of my industry and I had to get strategic. Where are women not being represented? It came clear, it came quick, play by play. Not just in hockey, but across all sports. But this is play by play. This is the most difficult thing we do as broadcasters. And then there's the imposter syndrome of, okay, I know the game, but do I really know enough about the game to narrate it? Can I do this even? And then if you say it out loud, who do you trust to tell that to? Because no woman was doing it. I never saw any women doing it when I grew up, even as an adult. So who do I trust with that? Because once you say it, the genie is out of the bottle. And if you don't take that all the way, guess what? I'm back on that floor. I'm back failing, and I am not going to feel that again. How do you do this? There's no playbook. I had no idea what to do, but I'm a big believer in mentors, and when I swing real big. This is my mentor, Mike Doc Emmerich, Hall of Fame broadcaster. I'm sure many of you have seen his work over the years. I was fortunate enough to get connected with Doc. We got on the phone. We talked for 20 minutes. He didn't ask me a single hockey question. But by the end of it, he said, Leah, just by the way you speak, I know you can do this. He said, this is what you do. You go to any rink, go to a junior game, and just start calling it and record yourself. Because that's what he did at the very beginning of his career to find opportunities to get better. So that's what I did. Living in Winnipeg, I went to American Hockey League games when I wasn't working for the Premier in politics on my weekends, and I was the crazy lady sitting in the stands, calling the game and recording myself. You can imagine the looks I got. But that's what I did. And I did it for about a month and a half. Kind of started to seeing some progress, but the biggest piece to that is I loved it. I loved how bad I was. I loved the challenge of it. This was the hardest thing I had ever done in my career, and I thought, my goodness, this might be it for me. So you gain a little bit of courage, and you reach out to people that you know, like two-time Olympic gold medalist Cassie Campbell-Pascal, who's a trailblazer in her own right. And I say, you know, Cass, I know Sportsnet has that Canadian Women's Hockey League package. There's 4 games. Do you think they'd be open? She says, call them now. I called the exact same man who had called me back in 2016 to let me go. That's why we don't burn bridges, right? I told them I wanted to call play-by-play. It's time for a female voice to call the female game. And they were open. They gave me a quick little audition at a Brandon Wheat King game. I was absolutely horrible. I had 2 days to prepare. I had no idea how to prepare for a game. I didn't know the names and numbers by heart. It just wasn't great, but they saw enough that they let me do it. I talked to Doc about doing play-by-play in October of 2017, and I made my national broadcast debut calling the CWHL in January of 2018, a few months later. I called that 4-game package, loved it, loved the opportunity. So the next season comes around, and they let me do it again. And then this time, I get an email from ESPN, and it's John Vassallo, who's in charge of the NCAA content for the worldwide leader. And he says, Leah, I know you from the World Cup of Hockey. I see what you're trying to do, and this sport needs new voices, and yours needs to be one of them. He gave me a fantastic opportunity, which I was not qualified for. I was not the most qualified candidate, and I was not ready for it. I became the first woman to call the NCAA Division I hockey tournament. I went to the regional in Providence. Beast of a tournament. Hardest challenge still today of my career. You learn on Sunday in the selection show, your 4 teams, you got 3 days to learn them all. It's my first time calling men's. It's my first time calling back-to-back games. It's my first time calling a regional final, which means so much because the winner goes on to the Frozen Four. It was not perfect, but what it did was it allowed me to gain valuable experience through the opportunity to make me more qualified for when the next experience came. And at the same time this was happening and I was gaining a little bit of momentum, my mentor, Doc, was talking about me, using his credible voice in our sport to say that he felt that I would be the first woman to call in the NHL full-time. That support, it means the world from a male colleague because it elevates you. He went to American Hockey League teams and said, if you're looking for a voice, you need to see this young woman. I threw the young in, I wasn't really that young. But the fact is that he was using his voice to talk about me and my goals, and that is opportunity, and that gave me credibility.